Have you ever wondered why the harder you try to please a woman, the more distant she becomes? Why is it that the man who bends over backwards to keep her happy often ends up being the one she secretly loses respect for? Here's the paradox. The more you give away your power, the less she desires you. Most men believe that love is earned through sacrifice, compliance, and endless apologies. But the truth? That's not love, it's self-betrayal. And deep down, you know it. You're not exhausted because of life or work or stress. You're exhausted because you've been living as her emotional caretaker instead of as a man with boundaries. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic emperors, once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you'll find strength." And that is exactly what women are unconsciously testing every single day. Your strength, your emotional spine, your ability to stand firm in the storm without losing yourself. In today's video, I'm going to reveal how to flip the script. How to make a woman want you badly, even if she's playing games. You'll see exactly how manipulation works, why women test men, and how Stoic principles can help you become untouchable, calm, grounded, and deeply respected. And here's my promise to you. By the end of this video, you will not only understand why women push boundaries, but also how to respond in a way that makes her stop the games or walk away. Either way, you win. So if you're ready to take back control, build real respect, and finally feel like the man you were meant to be, stay with me until the very end. And before we dive in, hit that subscribe button, drop a comment below, and let me know, have you ever felt like you were losing yourself just to keep a woman? Number 1, the first encounter. Why she stands apart. Every man remembers the first moment. It may not have been dramatic. It may not have been fireworks. But something subtle happened, an energy shift, a resonance, as if a missing note in his soul suddenly rang out. She wasn't just beautiful. Beauty fades into the background once the eyes grow accustomed. No, it was something else. Something that cannot be captured in a photograph. Perhaps it was the way she carried herself, as if she belonged fully to her own being. Perhaps it was the way her presence seemed to pierce through the noise of the world and strike directly at his core. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." And so it is with this encounter. The moment itself is ordinary, a meeting, a conversation, a glance. But the man's reaction is extraordinary. His inner world rearranges itself. He feels both exposed and alive, as if some veil has been torn away. What makes her stand apart is not her perfection, but her truth. She is unrepeatable, unmasked, unapologetically herself. And when a man meets such a woman, something within him stirs with both awe and fear. For he realizes that from this moment on, his life will never be the same. Number 2, the imprint. Why she cannot be forgotten. There are women a man dates, and then there's the woman who imprints herself on his very soul. She does not pass through his life like a shadow. She leaves a mark, a living scar, both tender and eternal. Why? Because she awakens something in him he did not know was sleeping. Perhaps it is his courage. Perhaps it is his longing. Perhaps it is a part of him that craves meaning beyond survival, beyond success, beyond pride. The Stoic Marcus Aurelius once reflected, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." And so it is with her. She becomes the color of his inner life, even if he does not speak her name. Every decision, every longing, every standard of love he holds afterward is secretly measured against her. Even years later, in the arms of another, he will feel her absence. Even in laughter, he will remember the silence she once filled. She becomes the axis upon which his emotional world turns. Not because she asked for it, but because she revealed him to himself. This is why some men cannot move on. They are not just remembering her. They are remembering who they were when they stood before her truth. Number 3, the longing, the eternal pursuit of one woman. There's a reason some men, though surrounded by options, never truly give themselves again. They may touch other hands, they may kiss other lips, but a part of their soul is forever reaching backward, toward the one woman who awakened their depth. This longing is not about possession. It is not about desire in the ordinary sense. It is a hunger for wholeness, for the rare moment when a man feels that someone has seen through him completely, without judgment, without pretense. Seneca once wrote, "We are always complaining that our days are few and acting as though there will be no end to them. The man who has known such a woman learns this lesson painfully. He sees that time is short and that many encounters are shallow. He longs for what is real, because once he has tasted it, the trivial cannot satisfy. And so, his life becomes a quiet pursuit of that essence. He may not even want her specifically anymore, but he wants the truth she represented. He wants the union that was not built on games, but on raw being. This is why the longing never dies, because it is not just for a woman. It is for the eternal, expressed through her presence. Number 4, the price of losing her. To lose such a woman is not the same as losing anyone else. It is not simply heartbreak. It is a collapse of meaning. A man may walk the same streets, but they no longer feel alive. The food has no taste. The nights grow longer, and even the victories in his career ring hollow. Because deep down he knows he once held something that most men never even encounter, and he let it slip away. Marcus Aurelius warned us, "You will lose everything you now hold dear, but the loss is not what hurts. It is your refusal to accept it." This is a silent punishment of the man who loses her. He cannot fully accept. He cannot forget. He cannot go back to who he was before her. So he pays a price. He becomes restless. He becomes haunted. Every woman he meets afterward feels like an echo, never the original song. And yet, this pain is also his teacher, because only through such loss does he learn what matters, what is real, and what cannot be taken for granted. Number 5, the transformation through pain. Pain has a way of stripping away illusions. When a man loses the one woman who awakened his soul, he faces a choice: collapse into bitterness or rise into transformation. At first, the loss feels unbearable. His mind replays every detail. The way she laughed, the look in her eyes when she was fully present, the rare silence that spoke louder than words. But slowly, something shifts. The pain carves him open. It forces him to confront who he was before her and who he must become after her. Epictetus once said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." And in this crucible of grief, the man discovers that pain is not his enemy. It is a fire that forges him into someone deeper, steadier, more awake. If he listens carefully, the loss becomes a mirror. It shows him where he clung out of fear, where he loved selfishly, where he tried to possess what was never his to own. And in that mirror, he begins to see himself, not as a broken man left behind, but as a man being remade. This is the paradox. The woman he longed for his entire life may never return, but the man he becomes through losing her is the man he was always meant to be. A man may long for one woman his entire life, not because she is perfect, not because she was flawless, but because in her presence he tasted something rare: authenticity, depth, truth. Carl Jung once wrote, "The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed." That is why he cannot forget her. She was not just a woman. She was the mirror that revealed him to himself. And yet, Stoicism reminds us, no person can ever truly belong to us. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." Love is not about possession, but about awakening. So perhaps the longing never ends. Perhaps it is not meant to, because the longing itself becomes a teacher. It humbles him, softens him, deepens him. In the end, the woman may pass, but the transformation she inspired remains. And that, more than her presence, is what a man carries with him for the rest of his days.